Do do do, theme song. Do do do, I'm broke, so this is my theme song. Do do do, just imagine this is an awesome theme song. Do do, theme song. Hello, welcome to Left of the Box. Bonjour, bienvenue. I'm Sandy. Is everyone hearing me okay? I'm going to be looking at the chat a lot here because I have nobody with me this time. I decided to just kind of jump on screen and see what would happen. So just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Got some nods. Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for coming out on no notice. We got Oaken Hill Hermit, My Dogs Are Goth, Tyler Hackner. I feel so officially on the leftist live streaming podcasting YouTube feel now. Shay Myth. I think I said that right. And yeah, I think that's all that. Oh, hi, Nicole. Oh, Sheldon, hey. So I think that's all the people in here right now. You see, I have a problem when I try to get videos out. I want to get them out when they're topical, like right away. But then I have to write the script and I tend to overthink it and do so much. So I thought I would use what happened in the House of Commons as a little testing ground to see, if I can just do this live instead with an audience. And I have like tabs kind of queued up and everything that I'm hoping for, just to see if I actually have that audience, how well it goes. That's why I didn't give anyone any notice, because it's not like I want too many people here to see me if I screw up. Okay. So thank you everyone for coming out. I will be talking about the applause in the House of Commons. Yeah, that was something. But before I get to that, don't forget I have buttons. Share the stream. I guess more people can come on and see me make a fool of myself. I would also like to thank the person who got me the heating pad from my wish list. My back appreciates it. I have a lot of back pain and heating pads work wonders. Okay, so let's see. The trick is I'm going to see if I can actually use this afterwards to edit it into an actual video. But some insider stuff that a lot of you don't know. That little intro when I go, hi, welcome to Left of the Box, bonjour, bienvenue, I'm Sandy. I usually do like 3 takes of that and then pick the best one. So, a 10-minute long video is usually like an hour's worth of recording because I record the same part over and over again and pick the one that I like the best. So doing this live is really going to test my sense of perfectionism. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so in the House of Commons, that is the Canadian Parliament for all of you Americans who don't know anything about Canada. It's where Justin Trudeau goes to talk. It's where all the federal stuff happens. It's in Ottawa, which is the actual capital of Canada, not Toronto, like a lot of you guys seem to think. Well, Vladimir Zelensky was in town to talk to Justin Trudeau and for Justin Trudeau to give him another $650 million for their effort. And he was in the House of Commons, and since he's a foreign dignitary, they were doing a ceremony kind of honoring him. And then the House of Speaker pointed out somebody else in the audience. I'm going to play the video for you. Hopefully this works.
we have here in the chamber today Ukrainian-Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98. His name is Yaroslav Hunka. And I was going to say he's in the gallery, but I think you beat me to that. But I'm very proud to say that he is from North Bay and from my riding of Nipissing-Temiskaming. He's a Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero, and we thank him for all his service. Thank you.
That wasn't as smooth as I had hoped, but let me go into my little bit now that I was planning on doing more seamlessly than that. Yay! We're all clapping for a Ukrainian soldier. Wait, he's 98? That seems a bit old. Oh, he was a Ukrainian soldier in World War II fighting against the Russians. Wait. He was a Ukrainian soldier in World War II fighting against the Russians. Yeah, that does not sound good. You know, maybe times were tough and you know, he felt like he had no other choice. Oh, I see. He was a volunteer, was he? Huh. Wow. And we're coming into Yom Kippur, one of the biggest Jewish celebration out there, and Vladimir Zelensky is clapping for this guy who is a Nazi. And Zelensky is also Jewish. Wow. Yeah. That was embarrassing on so many levels. Like, it's actually, it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around how something like that can happen. Like, do they not vet the people who actually they're talking about in the House of Commons? Instead of like, oh, this guy is in my constituency and, you know, he seems like a nice guy, so I invite him in, and oh, turns out he's a Nazi. Oops, my bad. Yeah. I'm almost left speechless as to, you know, how this could happen. I kind of understand how everyone was clapping, though, and we'll get into that in a moment. But first, I wanted to go over some tweets which will help guide me in my talking to an audience, you guys, as I'm constantly looking over at my chat to see how I'm doing, because, you know, this is just me in this live stream seeing how this goes. Okay, so I'm going to switch screens again, and hopefully I'll do this a little bit more seamlessly than last time. Aha, here I am. I want to fix this little square here because it's not exactly equal border. I'm just going to let it drop. I'm going to let it drop. Again, this isn't about perfection. I'm just trying to see if I can do this. The first live streams are going to be a mess, so thank you everyone for coming out and watching me embarrass myself while my country embarrasses itself on the world stage. So I tweeted this out. I thought it was a banger tweet. Just like, what are the chances the federal party that used the slogan "Secure the Future" in 2021 could win an election now? What's that? The Conservative Party who used that slogan is topping in the polls, and every MP applauded a Nazi in the House of Commons. Every single one, regardless of party. Well, shit. And here is an actual tweet from election in 2021 from the Conservative Party. Canada's recovery plan will secure the future for you, your children, and their children. That sounds like a dog whistle. That's for the people who are familiar with the 14 words. That is, yeah. I remember when I first saw that when I was driving down the road. I nearly drove off the road when I realized it wasn't a joke. But let's get into some tweets that are, a little poignant for everything that just happened. So Tori, go follow her on Twitter and on Blue Sky. She is amazing and always has the facts and shows voting records for different things on how the parties voted. She is amazing, and I don't know how she has it in her to get all these resources all the time. But anyway, she tweeted this out. Beyond parity, Liberals say their broken promise on electoral reform, first past the post, keeps far-right extremists out of Parliament. Yeah, that seems to be working. The whole, first past the post will keep the Nazis out of Parliament by doing that. Yeah. And so part of the reason why a lot of people are frustrated that all the MPs were clapping for this guy is you might not know him personally. You probably don't know him personally. So you don't know he's a Nazi. However, as Tori also pointed out, he was introduced as having fought against Russia, and all you clapped. Every single one of you, regardless of party lines, brought shame to Canada. And of course, the Conservatives are trying to make it a partisan issue, which is, as I agree with her, very cowardly of them. We got the serfs. I don't get how something like this has zero oversight or self-awareness. Did you think there was a good SS division or something? And they also said incredible in the government of Canada had no one in. See, normally when I screw up in a tweet like this, I would redo it, cut it out, and put in the flawless one. Incredible, no one in the government of Canada has access to Google. And so the Speaker of the House is taking full responsibility. He is apologizing, sort of. It's not much of an apology for what he did. Apparently, this 98-year-old was in his riding, and that's part of the reason why the Speaker knew him and brought him in. And so on September 22nd in the House of Commons, I recognized an individual in the gallery. I regret my decision to do so and accept full responsibility for my actions. Read my statement here. You know what? I would like to read his statement. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Okay, sure, I won't read his statement. Then we have from Dimitri. He ran for leadership of the Green Party a little while ago. MPs were not made aware of this man's Nazi past, but why did they give a standing ovation for a man about whom they knew nothing? And that's the little trick there. Canada's MPs mindlessly offer wild applause for anything having to do with Ukraine nationalism. They're an embarrassment. So that first part here, about whom they know nothing. I'm going to switch back to full screen, so please forgive me as I do this. if you would like to not see that kind of delay in between me setting things up, a subscription to StreamYards would really help. As many of you know, my cat Frodo was very sick, and so I was doing a bit of a fundraiser for him to help cover his vet bills. So far, he seems to be recovering. I'm amazed by it, actually, because in my experience, when cats hit a certain age, once they get sick, they're done. And by some miracle, he's been eating, he's starting to act himself. That's all great. And the fundraiser I did was still successful. That's why I had my first live stream. But I'm still quite short of paying off the vet bill. So until that happens, buying things like a subscription to StreamYards or any other programs is kind of a no-go. Like even buying a new cord for my Yeti mic is a no-go until I get that paid off, because staying in debt for long periods of time doesn't do my mental health any good. Okay, so what I was getting at, what Dimitri was getting at, is this idea that all the MPs just started to applaud wildly without actually thinking. And that is, yeah, that's how they got to be an MP. What a lot of people don't know who aren't involved in politics is that when you run for a party, you have to align with them 100%. You're not allowed to have your own thought. So even if you think something differently, you can't post about it, you can't, make any sort of public disagreement about it. And like, I tried to run for the NDP twice. The first time, there's a story behind that, which I still have never told to this day, which I might at some point. But the second time, I was rejected from the vetting process, and they plainly said to me, because I have the tendency to speak my mind. So when you're in the House of Commons and your party leader starts to clap, you start to clap. You don't put any more thought into it than that. And so a lot of people just had their brains switched off. Okay, we clap. Some of them are now coming out saying that the speaker should resign, and he absolutely should resign. This isn't a little mistake. It's a major mistake. Like, how do you not Google somebody before you invite them into our parliamentary house? Like, this is giving Russia propaganda like you wouldn't believe. Because part of the reason why they invaded Ukraine was to say that they want to denazify it. I think a lot of people forget there used to be these documentaries back in the aughts, I think it was, or even the 2010s, of Russian sting operations where they would go undercover to try to find gay men and ambush them and do really, really horrible things to them. Because being queer in Russia is illegal for the most part, and yet they're claiming that another country has horrible Nazi type people. Yeah. Anyway, where was I going with this? Right. So I can forgive some politicians for not necessarily knowing, like especially right now when everything we're talking about is the Ukraine against Russian, and the government wants to support them and all that sort of stuff. I can forgive them for not putting too much thought into it. But when they say from World War II, again, it is a bit of a tricky situation, because I know when I was growing up, nobody taught us the actual history of the world wars. We were taught fragments of it, fragments that tended to make us look good, or basically the United States, because a lot of the information we get is through American movies, documentaries, people talking, and all that sort of stuff too. So a lot of people don't know the sacrifices Russia made during World War II to defeat the Nazis. And if you were fighting against Russia, that meant that you were part of the Nazi crew. So, and I know a lot of other people are kind of covering it from that angle, which is fine. When it comes to the war in Ukraine, I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't know everything. It's a very complex situation. So I try to keep myself out of it as best as I can and focus on things that I'm familiar with. And one of the things that I'm familiar with is how government kind of runs, the government of Canada. And it's sad to see so many people in Parliament who got into their positions because they spoke to the people in their riding. And yet that same energy, that same willingness to speak out is then crushed as soon as they get into the party. The NDP in particular is very disappointing because I see it moving more and more to the center all the time. It wouldn't surprise me if someday in the future it comes out that the Liberals have actually infiltrated them and became the establishment within the NDP to make them more neoliberal light. But people in Canada, often when they vote for a person, they say, well, I like that person, and that's why I voted for them. Even though they might not be part of the party that I like, I still voted for them because I like that person. It doesn't matter the personality of the politician you're voting for. All that matters is where their party stands. Because, again, once they get into government, they're not allowed to disagree with the party lines. Which is unfortunate because how can they speak for the people of their riding when they aren't allowed to speak freely? And it is one of the faults in our government. Like, a lot of people say, oh, we have a parliamentary system. It's so great. We have multi-parties and stuff like that. When in actuality, we only really have two parties. It's only the Liberals and the Conservatives. And come election time, the NDP kind of blends in with the Liberals with policy. And when it's not election time, the Liberals kind of blend in with the Conservatives when it comes to policy. So what we need is more, we need people pushing the party. You can't just push a single politician and hope to make change. Because until the party gives you that go-ahead, that policy isn't going to change within them. There are some NDP MPs who are speaking out and who get a bit of heat from the party because they sometimes will say things that, the base of the NDP wants to hear, but the leadership of the NDP is a little bit more reserved on. That's why it's important to get involved with politics year-round. It can't just be during the elections. When the elections happen, you have your slate of people for who you can vote for, and it is harm reduction. If you don't like who you're voting, like your options, the work needs to be done in between elections to make sure that the person that gets into that spot that you're voting for is somebody you want to be there. Okay, I think I was rambling enough coherently about that. I'm just going to check chat and see how I'm doing. Okay, thank you for all the comments, the positive comments. Hi, Looney Tunes. The government of Canada must hate gays, do they? The Conservatives, yes. I'm actually going to be doing a video about that in the very near future. One of my proper videos where I actually set it up and everything. Okay, so I wanted to show you a couple more videos, so I'm going to switch screens again. Bear with me. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me. So this is the Speaker of the House, and to be honest, oh, there it is. Anthony Rhoda. I'm horrible with names, so forgive me if I can't recall a politician's name off the top of my head. I am just the worst when it comes to names. But he did issue something resembling an apology.
I just want to make it clear that it was my decision and my decision alone. This was a constituent who wanted to see wanted to be here, and I recognized him.
I find that hard to believe. That only one person can be in charge of somebody coming into the House of Commons. That there's no oversight, that he can just make the call without anybody checking, any background check. Like, yes, he is primarily at fault, but I think they're trying to lay all the blame on him so that other people won't be held accountable for it. Frodo, come here. Frodo just walked into the room. I was hoping to show him out to everyone to see how well he's doing. Anyway, back to this.
It was my decision, and I apologize profusely. I cannot tell you how regretful it is. And it may not be good enough for some of you, and for that I apologize. I just want to make it.
That last part, it may not be good enough for some people, and for that I apologize. That sounds like sorry if I offended you type thing that you hear from people that are making insincere apologies. And even in that, he says that it was his decision, but he's not really holding himself accountable. He's not saying, I should have looked into it more, I should have done something, or really acknowledging what happened. It's like, I brought a Nazi into the House of Commons and embarrassed us on the world stage. Like, just Googling some things for this video. It's around the world. It's getting coverage around the world. And yeah, I can't blame it, because this type of gaffe is just so unconscionable that you would do this at such a time, like when there's the war going on. There's a lot of sensitivities around different groups of people, like LGBTQ plus people, Jewish people, people of other different religions who are currently being attacked by the right wing. With all of that going on, with the rise of fascism happening in the United States, you let a Nazi into the House of Commons. That's not a little mistake. He needs to resign. Like that. I'm worried that if I say a single wrong word on my thing, that here's Frodo, that I could be canceled over that. The thought of me bringing on a Nazi onto my channel and trying to have a good faith conversation with them about some of the good things they have to offer without realizing who they are or something. Like, it blows my mind. My channel would never survive that, and it shouldn't. But there was this fun video that I came across that I just wanted to share with people.
We have here in the chamber today a literal Nazi. His name is Yaroslav Hunka, a Waffen SS soldier who pledged allegiance to Hitler, fought against our allies in the Soviet Union, and was complicit in the Holocaust. This man's a criminal. Not a great look for us. We have...
Yeah, not a great look for us at all. Okay, back to main screen. Here I am. Was the conservative leader among the applause? All of them were. All of them. Unless they weren't in the House of Commons, they were absent. All of them were applauding. It is an embarrassment. It just goes to show how performative our politics are. As soon as they are given the cue to clap, they clap. without any thought about what they're doing. And it needs to change. People in parties need to be able to speak up and actually challenge their leadership and say, I feel like, and yeah, I'm talking about the NDP here. They should be allowed to stand up and say, I feel like we're straying from what the base wants, or that I don't feel like the base wants that, or maybe we should do more for the base. Because if the NDP actually became the party it used to be, the party that used to represent the base somehow, that party has a real chance of winning because so many people want that. What they used to offer, but now it's means-tested, milquetoast policies. Jagmeet is never challenging Justin Trudeau in any meaningful way, and I had a lot of high hopes for Jagmeet when he first got in, and now I'm like, he needs to go and make room for somebody who's willing to take the party back to where it should be. I can't remember if I had anything much more I wanted to add to this. Because, yeah, I just wanted to really go at it from the angle of politicians just conforming to party policy without any freedom to think on their own. I imagine there's not too many autistic people in Parliament. Let's put it that way, because we struggle to conform to pretty much anything. Let's see. I'm checking the comments here. Some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't check the comments when you're doing this." I will. I try to read comments on my videos unless it's overwhelming. Like if I get an overwhelming amount of feedback on a video, positive or negative, I have a hard time actually looking through the comments. But if I'm getting just a few comments here or there, I do tend to read them. I don't necessarily reply to all of them, but I do try to read them. So welcome all the people who have joined me. Oh, wow. For a surprise stream, I brought in like over 20 people. And to think, before my first live stream, I actually had a dream where somehow I got -1 viewers. We'll just have to see how this goes. I don't think Polyev was applauding the most enthusiastically, as I'm reading one of the comments here, because it was the Liberals who more or less brought this guy in, because the Speaker of the House is Liberal, so it was more Liberal approved, and even if it's something that they should be applauding, the Conservatives will hold back on it. Again, it's a whole performative politics. They don't want to show that they're agreeing with the Liberals with anything unless it's, to help corporations, give money to big corporations and all that sort of stuff. That the Liberals and the Conservatives agree on. Like when it comes to not cutting taxes and all that sort of stuff, the Liberals and Conservatives agree on that 100%. Let's see. Just reading Tyler Hackner, can't believe Zelensky was pulled into this. Yeah, I'm a very empathetic person, and I'm trying to put myself into his shoes. He's currently in a war against Russia. He's Jewish. And then to realize you are applauding a Nazi. I imagine that of the politicians in the House of Parliament, a lot of them did feel betrayed because, again, they tend to just follow suit. But I think if they had actually took a moment to think about what was happening and realize what was happening, a lot of them wouldn't have actually applauded. I do sincerely believe that had they actually thought about what was being said, if they knew who this person was, the vast majority of them would not have applauded. And so a lot of them, when it comes to like the Liberals and the NDP, I imagine are feeling betrayed by the Speaker of the House, by anyone who approved this person being in Parliament. Let's see. Yeah, it's a trap. I'm actually interested to, I don't know if Zelensky has said anything about this, but I'm actually interested to hear what his thoughts are on it. Just like the backpedaling and everything. I know there is footage of people questioning Justin Trudeau about it, but he's very quick and terse with his answers and runs away before doing anything in depth, because I think the damage control that's going on right now is pretty intense. And until behind the scenes they've kind of settled on this is what we're going to say, they're all going to keep quiet. And they're going to see how bad the public backlash is, like not just Canadian public backlash, but global public backlash. And if it becomes so intense, they are going to find a scapegoat, somebody that does have to resign or to take all the blame for this, so that they can save face somehow through this. So I Still Shower says, I'm wondering if there wasn't a conservative that was behind getting Liberals to applaud a Nazi. I don't think so. I do think it was an honest mistake by the Speaker of the House, Anthony. It was an honest mistake, but an unforgivable mistake. Because if he was the one to say, I want this person in the House of Commons, then it is on him to, at a bare minimum, do a Google check. I Google check people before I go on dates. I imagine people do that to me too. Now there's a lot of stuff for them to go through. Before, I used to not be online at all and there'd be nothing there. But, you know, companies, for job applications, for anything, generally do some sort of vetting or Google check. And so to invite this person in without doing your own research ahead of time, because then, yeah, a lot of this will fall on you. And it should. Like, even when I'm doing videos, I am like double and triple checking articles, making sure that I'm not missing something, because I would feel horrible if I misled people by accident. And so I'm just imagining myself as the Speaker of the House, misleading everyone there into applauding for a Nazi. I would step down before anyone even said boo about it. Like, I couldn't step down faster if that had been the case, because of how horrid I would have felt for doing that. Like, I just, if he wants to take full accountability, that's what he needs to do. So, Environmental Coffee House, thank you for coming in. Did this dude in Parliament renounce his past? Did he renounce his Nazism? From everything I've seen, no. And even things as recent as like 2011, how he even got into the country is a little suspect, if you ask me. Like, how he was able to immigrate here after the war is a little suspect. But from what I've seen, he hasn't renounced his past. And it kind of irks me that somebody who volunteered to be part of this because a lot of the news outlets are saying he fought with Nazis. No, he fought as a Nazi. You know, this is probably like just the crowning achievement, the cherry on top before he dies. And it just bothers me so much that somebody like him can live such a long, happy, stable life without ever being held accountable for what he did. And then at the end of all of it, gets to be applauded for that. Yeah. Let's see. So Vanessa says, you can bet an underpaid, overworked staffers are going to pay for this. Yeah. Yeah. I can kind of see that happening for sure. That the speaker might even try to just push it off like, oh, well, I was expecting somebody else to do it, or it was their job to do it, or something of that sort. Like his actual apology, this is what I find interesting. His apology puts him in a bit of a bind because he does kind of say that it was on him. He takes full responsibility. So now it's actually going to be a lot harder for them to pin it on somebody else. This hour has 22 minutes is going. That's still a thing? Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. So, yeah, I don't think there was anything else I really needed to say about this. David Dole, the Rational National, he did a fantastic video about this already. I envy how he can just pull it all together so fast because he had all the information, the stats, backing it up, and then was able to just give a flawless presentation of it and have it out earlier today. I envy his talent for that, and it's something that I hope to work towards. I might need to do more live streams like this if I want to get things out in a timely fashion just for the time being until I get a little smoother at it. Like I said before, my next video, like actual scripted out video that I plan on doing, is about the 1 million March for Children and some of the horrible and good things around that. And there are a couple other videos that I always have on the back burner that I want to do. So before I forget, don't forget to subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Hitting like buttons, sharing. In the links below, I have a PayPal account for people that is very specifically for people who want to help me out with my vet bill. Because I'm still over $600 shy of getting that completely paid off. But you can also become a patron. I have the option, and I need people's opinions on this. I have the option of setting up like subscriptions to my YouTube channel that people can buy the different tiers of the YouTube channel. I'm more keen on not doing that and just kind of moving people more towards the Patreon route in case YouTube decides to like demonetize my channel or something of that sort. Let me know what you think, because I get the feeling that some people just feel more comfortable doing it through YouTube if it's something that they've done with other channels. But for now, I'm going to strongly encourage people, if you can, if you have the money, please subscribe to my Patreon account. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Yes, I'm still referring to it as Twitter. Blue Sky. I have a couple Instagram accounts. One is for my Left of the Box stuff. The other one is for SandeeLovas. SandeeLovas.com is a website where I advertise my art. I do really good drawings of people and pets and other things. Please go check it out if you're interested in getting a portrait for yourself, or you know somebody who might be interested in it. Please again, so far the only customer I've had for that is my mom. And she's great for it and I love her for it, but I can't rely on her to sustain my business. And it's going to be a long time before, I can get a reliable income from doing my left of the box stuff. So being able to sell portraits or prints of the drawings that I've done so far would really, really help me out. Okay. Spider Pickle, don't rely on YouTube for a living. I'm not. That's why I have my portrait business. There's something else maybe in the works. I have a meeting on Thursday and I'll know how that goes. And then I might have a super big, exciting announcement. So please just send positive thoughts about that. It's something that I've been working on for literally years. So send me positive thoughts about that. I really need them because something happened with it recently that just made me feel a little bit demoralized. And so I'm hoping that the meeting on Thursday changes and it's not the worst case outcome. Instead, it's the best case outcome. So, thank you for sending the good vibes. I don't think there's anything else I need to add. I imagine for future live streams I will be going over more than one topic at a time. But for now, I just want to keep this concise. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. Let's see, do one of these screens tell me how long I've been going live for? Oh, about 58 minutes. Okay, yeah, no, that's a good time. I don't want to go really any longer than an hour for this surprise YouTube stream. I'm also looking to bring more people onto my YouTube stream to have conversations with because I always do better in conversations, which is why I'm obsessively checking the chat. Okay. You see, this is a weird thing that I've only done one other live stream. And so this is my second live stream. And this is a weird thing in me where I'm like, I feel like I can't go until everybody leaves. Like somehow it's a party at my house. And until everyone goes home for the evening, I can't stop the party or something like that. And so I feel weird just ending it when I still have people watching. Oh, the joys of live streaming. And this is going to be I'm going to have some interesting experiences with this. Okay. So I think I need to do my standard kind of, I'm going to feel a little bit more complete if I do my standard sign off that I would normally do for my videos. And then that way, when I edit this down, because I've been rambling a lot about some other stuff, when I edit it down for the video that I plan on just posting about this subject, that, I have this in it to add. I just feel like I'm forgetting something. I didn't write down anything either about all of this. Just hoping that I can wing it, hoping that I didn't forget anything. This is part of the reason why I like to script things, because I write it all out. I go for a walk or I do some dancing to think about things and I add some things. And as I'm then giving it to the video, I might tweak. And yeah, it is all there. But I feel like if I didn't do this live, I probably wouldn't have covered this subject because I just have so many other things on the go. So many other things on the go. And my ADHD makes it very difficult for me to just sit down and change from doing one thing to another thing and just sitting down and working on a video sometimes. Okay, so just checking this chat one more time. And you almost got Frodo in here. I'm just going to call the cats to see if any of them come. Abernathy, Lanier, Frodo, come here. Come here. I was hoping to show you some kitty cats. Frodo did very briefly pop in, but not long enough for me to grab him and throw him in front of the camera. Hey, Abernathy, Lanier, Frodo. There's Abernathy. Come here. Come here, sweetie. You might get You might get to see Abernathy. Come here, baby. He's just staring at the door like, what are you doing? What's going on? Hey, sweetie, come here. Come here. I don't think so. It's too bad. He's a beautiful cat. Abernathy. Come on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Come here. Yay, here we go. Can you believe this guy is only like 7 months old? How big he is. Yeah, he's only 7 months old. He's a Bengal mix. I did not realize that when I adopted him. I just thought he was a very pretty tabby. So I think he has the potential of getting quite big. But he is super sweet. Yeah, he's a super sweet cat. Oh, right. He likes to eat necklaces. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, he is a Bengal mix. Did not realize that when I adopted him. I was actually trying to avoid other cats that were listed as Bengal mixes. So, but you know, love at first sight with cats. That's how it works. Never with people, always with cats. Okay. No, that one is my dogs are goth. That one is Abernathy. He's one of the new babies that I just got. Frodo is a tuxedo cat, long-furred tuxedo cat. I have pictures and stuff. Oh, right. I was going to, at some point, let's see. Maybe I can just do this. Do this. Do this. There we go. That's Frodo. Look at me. Look at me doing this on the go. That's Frodo right there. I get morning snuggles with this little guy. And bedtime snuggles. He's just an amazing cat, and I hope he continues to get better and overcome whatever he had. It's scary not knowing what he had that made him so sick, because then I don't know if it's gone. So I'm still monitoring his eating. I wasn't happy with how much he ate last night. He didn't eat much last night, so I'll be monitoring that again. And if he goes another day or two with me not really seeing him eat much, then I might have to take him back to the vet to get an ultrasound this time. And that is another hefty bill, but I can't afford to lose that cat right now. So it is what it is. Okay. I think this really is going to be the last time I look at the chat. Yes, Canadian healthcare does need to cover pets. Needs to cover mental health, needs to cover dental, hearing, eye care. You know, all of that. It needs to cover all of that. Okay, so let's do my proper kind of end off. So don't forget to hit buttons and leave comments. If you would like to find me in other places, I'm on Twitter, well it lasts, Blue Sky, Instagram. I have a Patreon that I would appreciate it if you guys signed up for. Thank you so much to all the people who have already become a patron. It just means the world to me that you have enough faith in me to actually put me in your budget. So again, thank you so much. Thank you to the people who have bought the items off of my wish list. Thank you to people who have donated towards Frodo. Having him in my life is just the anchor I need right now. He is my light. And I said I wasn't going to look again, but I'm looking again. Okay, now. Salut, à la prochaine. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. I'm Sandy, wishing your tomorrow is better than your today. This is not going the way I thought it would go. I shrank that by accident. There we go.